20, 2014, Great Lakes. I was in pre-dive pre-dive school. Remember, I told you guys I had the infection. I was in the holding unit. When they cleared me, they sent me over to Training Service Center, which is where the pre-buds, pre-dive, pre-EOD, pre-air rescue, everybody went. And I was rooming since I was kind of an awkward hold. They put me in the USS Cole, which is a barracks room that all the pre-buds guys were in. I roomed with a guy named Pete Barilovich, just a beast. He was the class leader of the pre-buds. And instructor Goggins, before he was David Goggins, he was there. This was 2014. And I just remember seeing this guy running every single morning. He was always leading the pre-buds guys, always. He was still a runner. And everybody's like, oh, there's instructor Goggins. Like, dude, he's a beast just running. And he got in trouble a couple of times because he wasn't supposed to run them over 6 miles, but he would run them 12, 18 miles. And a lot of the pre-buds guys would get stress fractures. So one night, I was in the barracks room, me and Pete and Slinger and then somebody else. They're like, we got to gear up for our inspection. So please clean up your stuff. It's got to look clean here. And I was like, all right. They cleaned up the whole compartment. 3:30 a.m. rolls around. You hear instructors just ripping through that hallway. And you hear Goggins just yelling, Barilovich, Barilovich. And he comes to the door, bangs on the door. And Barilovich, I see his feet swing down. He's got his full uniform on. He comes to the door. He lines out outside. And everything's quiet for about 2 minutes. Silence. I was sitting in my bed. I was SIQ, which means sick in quarters, with a fever. I'm pretty sure it was from that infection still or something. I was sitting there and I was like nervous. I had never spoke to Goggins, never spoke to any of the instructors. So the instructors walk in Barilovich's room because they're going to check the class leader's room first. He comes up, runs up to me, starts yelling, cussing at me. Get the out of that bed. What are you doing? Like just yelling, going crazy. Goggins. And then Pete comes back. He's like, instructor, he's dive. He's not pre-buds. He's also SIQ, which means he's sick in quarters. You guys know that. If you're SIQ from a doctor, petty officers, non-commissioned, nobody can tell you anything because you have a slip from a doctor. And he looks back at me. He grabs my SIQ chit and he's looking at it and he's like, he's thinking, oh, shoot, I messed up. So he's like, lay back down in your bed. I lay back down. He's like, sorry about that. Try to get some sleep. We're doing inspections. He's tapping his finger on my shoulder. Sorry about that. We're doing inspections. Be sure you get some sleep, because he was worried that I would go tell a doctor or somebody. He turns back around and starts ripping everybody else. And yeah, when I saw him get popular, I'm like, hey, that's the dude that yelled at me. And then now he's David Goggins.
He became normal for a second when he tapped you. He became
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah. He was a very normal dude. And through that, I would hear him talking. Like dudes would come up to him and talk to him, and he'd be talking to him like normal. But he definitely plays a role as David Goggins now.